part, get to an area of relative safety. I say relative because most things in this forest so far have either tried to kill you, make you get lost, or just make you blind, as Octavius figured out. So, moving forward, bizarre dreams some may have aside, things have worked out pretty well. For the most part, it looks, for all signs seem to point to, that you're getting closer to whatever's at the heart of this forest. You're currently in a small, sort of resting-like area. It seems it's been inhabited before. There's several stones that seem to be set as sort of boundary markers. Not with any magical transcriptions on them, more just these are meant to set out the edges of a campsite, really. Now, for the most part, things are pretty calm. You actually hear birds.
Very funny. I have my interview this afternoon. Oh, if it doesn't work out, you're ready to go on your Mormon mission.
Quite an unusual sight. Are you ready to head out now?
Yeah, so it's at this point that you notice two of them are sitting out, being Red, the tiefling, and Ross. Ross seems to be kind of clutching something on his side, clutching a cloth to a wound on his leg. Or rather, it looks like a wound because the rag is reddened to the point where he's more keeping it there at this point just to keep himself happy. And Red just looks really shaken up about something. The rest of you are actually fine. It's only these two that are actually wounded in any way, shape, or form. Okay.
My memory is just as trash as everybody else's.
This is, to put it to reference, the last encounter you guys had was those massive F-off living tree thingies.
Oh, no, that's not what I was talking about.
Oh. But for the most part, these two seem to be sitting it out. Red kind of notices, yeah, you guys go ahead. We'll secure the back.
Shall we be going in this direction and that point where the giant hooded figure told me to go?
Basically, it seems like a small grove entrance of sorts.
Should we move on? I believe we're nearly the end of this tirade.
Maybe.
Let's do this shiz.
Confidence is like talking to a lion to get more alive. was always making fun of me. That makes sense. But what do you mean? I make fun of him a lot.
Okay, so you guys and Alicia move forward. Takes about 20 minutes, but eventually you get here.
Oh, look, a target.
It's more an impact site.
God damn it, are we dealing with freaking Krypton bullshit?
If you mean what you ran into on the farm, possibly. You gotta look in first.
Ooh, I see a baby.
I shall name him Clark.
Where's this S symbol?
There's an S symbol?
Yeah, there's an S symbol right on the ship.
Okay, that's enough of the joke.
I think it means hope.
Anyways, everybody spawn in. No, you're spawning here.
Wait, top or bottom?
Okay, so to lay it out, these appear to be... The area you're in is sort of an odd... It's sort of like what appears to be something that might have been an old temple once. There's, like... The floor underneath you isn't actually... It's like it only has a light covering of grassy, fallen leaves and such. Underneath, like, if you swipe your foot hard enough, you reveal a stony underground. You reveal basically just a stone floor. Granted, the floor is cracked in numerous places and beyond count at this point, but you get the point.
Prestidigitation, that shit.
You're gonna need a lot of prestidigitation. All right, you clean out a 5-foot square around you.
Oh, no, I was just telling somebody to do that. I don't have prestidigitation.
I was going to say, it's like, dude, the janitor, whoever cleans that stuff up is not getting paid enough. And by the way, I found this.
It's so true in so many games.
Every fucking MMO ever.
I can't remember, but there's another one where basically it's Ganondorf is like welcoming Link into the final boss. It's like, what the hell are you wearing? Like he's bursting through the door. It's my ass kicking outfit, bitch. But anyways, you're essentially in like a temple. There appeared to have been what once was probably an altar, because you only say this because there's pieces of what appear to be like raised steps going up that have now been replaced by a giant tree just jutting out of the ground. Over the head, there's two major like balcony areas, or what appear to be like second floor walkways of sorts that don't extend over the entirety of it, but you get the point. And what look to be old, decrepit, crumbling staircases here. But for the most part, things look fairly normal.
My.
Then you notice the one glaring flaw.
The big
There's
hole.
no alcohol?
Yeah. Well, for you, all you really see is a slight lip in the ground where the stone seems to be, where the stone is either jutted upwards at an extremely, very, very uncomfortable looking angle, or it's, for the most part, or the stone seems to have just caved in completely and dirt's risen up in its place. You all see this slight reddish green glow emanating from the hole, but not much else. Once again, you've entered an area where it doesn't seem to be any effects. There's no unnatural night. There's no entities in the tree itself. This area looks pretty idyllic.
What happened to you, Chocolate? I thought you had chocolate.
You all feel oddly at peace. Calm.
Getting closer to it. Fresh sight.
Okay. Are you trying to go into the crater? Because as you look in, you notice it's about 30-ish feet deep. Granted, it's a slow incline that eventually gets it's like the first 10 or so feet are an extremely sharp incline that then mellow out at the bottom 20.
So if you go in here, it's gonna be a bitch of a climb back out.
Hey, Peach, come here.
Yeah. Well, if you have the right skills or the right tools, or you approach this the right way, no, it'll be a completely easy climb. I'm just giving you the diameters and the metrics of this. What were you gonna ask?
Is there anything you could tie a rope around this ditch? So you could just drop the rope?
Roll a general perception check. Or no, wait, investigation, not perception, because you're actively looking for things.
So
I
was gonna hit a 19.
There's the tree. It's kind of big, though.
What's she doing?
I don't know. You guys kind of notice him sort of looking around. You guys sort of notice as you're looking around, oh god, I cannot. It's like the John Travolta thing where he's just trying to look. He's looking around confused, trying to find something. And it's like he just sort of just shrugs his shoulders and doesn't know. If anybody else wants to try, you're free to go.
What are we doing?
Looking in the crater.
All right, I'll take a shot. Actually no. He's way too scared of all the shit in this forest. He's not going.
No, actually, this area kind of puts you at ease. Feels nice.
All right, what would this be? Investigation?
You've had this feeling. Yeah, just investigation. What's your passive again? What's all 11. Of your passives?
13.
Okay, Octavius, you notice that after brushing a shot, sort of moving aside brush and general leaves, you notice there's a small pillar right. Need something real quick.
Hello.
Right there.
Really? You're not gonna sit here?
Roll 20's pressure. There it goes.
Yeah, it's like the small. It seems to be the base of what was once a statue. It's cylindrical. It has it's sort of like one of those where there's two larger plates on top and bottom, and then there's a thinner inner column. Part of it on the back, part of it on this side has been broken off or just eroded with time, but you give it a push and it appears pretty solidly rooted into the ground.
I'm gonna go check that out.
Okay. There's a few inscriptions on it. They're faded. Kind of hard to read. You could give it a shot. Do you know Elven?
I know Sylvan. They're written the same.
Roll that would be investigation at disadvantage because you're effectively You're effectively trying to decipher something with half the language.
I'm trying to decipher Italian with Latin.
Basically, you have the root. Now I just got to get the fancy stuff.
What are you looking again? I ask in person, in character.
I got a 13 and something that's it. I can't really make it out, but it's like I know Sylvan, but I think this might be Elvish.
It reads, you only get like 3 disconnected letters. It reads something something.
Dark side.
No, something something L something something. Gotta look it up again.
You want me to help you out? I brushed it over,
Do
and
you
I'll
know
just
Elvish?
yes.
Something something F something something D.
Noctis is helping me, and he does know Elvish.
Okay, Noctis, roll an investigation check, because even though you know the language, it's still pretty faded and still pretty hard to read.
Can I give my bullshit to give him advantage?
Okay, yeah, no, like you draw it out in like a small scrap of paper you have. These are what I got. It's basically like just a hangman game, except minus the actual hangman. To our benevolent creators, Sendra, Fenthra, and to our the one word's kind of messed up. You can't really tell. It starts with no, you can't even tell what it starts with. Drinskal is the last word. Those sound familiar.
Fendra, Sendra, and Drinskal?
Fenthra, Sendra, and Drinskal. Or no, not Drinskal, Drothin. Sorry, got the name mixed up.
Isn't Drothin the god of death?
Yes.
I could ask you the same question.
I'm gonna assume those other two are other elf gods.
Roll a religion check if you want to know for sure.
Or we could just ask our cleric friend over here.
Sendra and Fenthra are the goddesses of creation. Sendra, light and the sentient creatures. Fenthra, the wilderness. Drothin is the god of death, though. How old is this statue?
How old is this freaking forest?
Oh.
Last I checked, I don't remember there being an elf civilization this far north.
Well, considering a large portion of history was lost when the gods went to war with one another, that isn't surprising. For all we know, there were entire eons that we don't know about.
So, hold on. So what you're telling me, this is in character, by the way, that we have just stumbled upon a ruin of a civilization that predates the war with the gods?
We have several civilizations that predate those, but this would be an undiscovered one? And she kind of gives like a half-hearted shrug and smile.
You're acting like this is a thing that happens every day.
I mean, everything's kind of relative considering what we've been through in the past week or so.
You're not wrong. Can I look around and see if I can find, like, ancient music?
The walls have, like, inscriptions and entire mosaic things on them. Like, yeah, no, you could definitely try roll investigation, and this is with advantage because you're looking for something you specifically know.
Son of a whore.
You find the tale of God. I gotta look through this.
Tell Genji.
No, different thing.
That's an actual book, you know.
No, I know, but still, different thing. Where's the notes?
As you're looking through your notes, can I just tie a rope behind these pillars?
Actually, this is a good question.
Oh yeah, no.
I have an entertainer's pack. Would I be able to make rubbings of whatever it is? Does that come
yeah, no, it would take some time, but you could definitely do that.
Oh yeah, if I found something that looks like actual music, I'm gonna freaking at least copy it down so I can learn it.
It is. Okay, so not toxic. But I want to do this right. Me too.
It speaks of.
Let's go play away then.
This is actually just
blank, or does it actually have a name?
No, the name's been rubbed out. It starts with an S, though.
You know, we did get dressed up. Come all the way to the mall. What are you thinking? I have always wanted a permit to dispose of hazardous waste.
And it shows a depiction of a crypt of some sort, or something that looks like a crypt, or above. It looks like a mausoleum, but it's surrounded by. It isn't surrounded by gravestones or anything. It's just a singular structure, and it shows a group of elves in armor fleeing from it in a single, and these are all like in panels essentially. One panel in the center. There are 6 panels in total. The third panel has been completely destroyed. There is no hope of reclaiming this thing. It's just a massive hole in the wall. But the main point being, the first panel shows just this mausoleum-like structure on its own. The second panel shows a group of elves running into the building, or at least mimicking the actions of running into the building. The third panel is destroyed. The fourth panel shows them running out of the building with what looks like someone tried to make it appear as though it was glowing red from the mausoleum's door. The fifth panel shows one lone elven figure standing fully clad in armor with a banner held up. And the fifth panel shows, it looks like 2 rings connected by curved lines, almost snakes in a sense. Within each ring is an elven symbol. The top symbol is the elven word for honor, the bottom, loyalty. I'll draw up a rough sketch, and I'm not going to put the symbol in because I don't do good with words. But point being, that one. And the banner itself is a verdant green. The fourth panel shows, or the sixth panel finally shows, corpses of both the elves and some other group littering the field around this mausoleum, whose doors are now shut, and the banner still flying, impaled on the corpse of one of these enemies. At the end, or underneath the sixth panel, is the writing, "We must never forget our..." God, I can't remember what I wrote all of a sudden.
Sacrifice?
Yeah. We must never forget our core principles, lest we allow our greatest triumph to undo us. Never forget what was given. There's 2 others of these on the walls if you want to look at them. Back to Azrael. So you've tied the rope around, and you actually got Alicia to like hold it and help lower you in if you want to go into the hole.
Let's do this.
Now, do you have the rope tied around you, or are you just like dropping it in and going to slide down?
Slide down.
Okay. Are you wearing gloves?
Yes.
Got it.
He always wears gloves.
No, because I was going to say, if you didn't have gloves, you were facing some rope burn there, buddy. Remember, you are not the most physically fit of the group.
I don't have strength, but I have dex and I have somewhat constitution.
Point being, you slide down and the meteor feels warm. Almost smooth to the touch. Or are you actually touching it? It just seems smooth on the surface. Like there's... It's a weird sort of thing. It's like a small 5x5 sphere. One part is partially buried into the ground. And there appears to have been what looks like several small tendrils that had connected to the ground but were severed and have shriveled up. There are still 2 of those remaining, though. The meteor itself is a smooth black sphere. There are pockmarks all along it, though, like small holes just bored into the surface. Yet somehow it still remains this smooth sort of sheen to it. The holes themselves have this reddish, red, green, and yellow light emanating from each of them. The light seems to shift and move slowly and methodically over a period of time, though there's no set pattern or form of any kind of methodology you can veer from this thing. There's also 2 bodies. Both have tendrils apparently stabbed into what you can only assume is the rib cage. And it appears to have flowered and webbed out to expand across most of what you could only assume was once their flesh, which has now been consumed and completely drained. They still have quite a bit of clothing and other stuff, and one appears to have been a much larger figure. From the bone structure, you immediately identify it as a half-orc. Though the gender's something you're going to have to take a closer look to actually figure out.
Does their clothes look tribal?
They both look tribal. The clothes have started to be eaten away by the forces of time itself. Decay and stuff like that, but for the most part, they look pretty good. One of them has a satchel with them, a sort of leather pouch of kinds, a sort of large leather pouch. For out-of-character reference, it essentially looks like a traveler. It essentially looks like a messenger's bag, but a bit more rough and tumble.
I'll yell out, guys, I think we found our 2 comrades that went ahead of us.
Toki and about 38 feet.
We hear him though, right?
Yeah, no, there's nothing else in the area that's making a noise. From the sounds of it, he's all that's being heard. And Alicia sort of bends over. It's like, are you okay?
It's all good. Yeah.
Toki, you hear it too, so.
I'll take out the satchel and just wrap it around myself. Not looking inside.
Okay. There's a few items of interest on the other figure. The larger one. Clutched in one hand, or one bony skeletal hand now, is a totem of sorts. And scattered around you, you think, are a few pieces of equipment. Probably weaponry.
I'll put the totem into the satchel, and what would be the other equipment?
There is the fragments of what you can only assume were a longsword. The hilt and part of the blade is still intact, but the rest of the pieces appear to have been lost. There's a helmet, a necklace, you think? A few scattered rings that appear to adorn the skeletal fingers of one of the things. They're pretty easy to remove because, well, they're rings meant for fingers, not bone. And there's another. There's a small cudgel that the person who had the satchel is gripping in their hands. Because are you actually like inspecting the bodies, or are you just giving them like a once-over face look?
At the moment, just a once-over.
All right. Yeah, no, that's all you find just on a precursory look over.
And how big is this meteor?
About 5 feet by 5 feet. It's a perfect sphere.
And with two tendrils coming out of it, right?
They're very small. They occasionally there seems to be like a glow that passes through them every once in a while, but it hasn't made any moves to try and attack you yet.
Attack.
Or anything to you.
This is gonna be stupid. I'll take off one of my gloves and attempt to cut it.
Cut it?
Yeah.
With what?
With my claw or whatever my hand is.
Okay, it's just a hand. You're just gonna try to rip a chunk of it off?
No, I forgot the feature, one of these features of my race. It's like I have sharpened bones or something, like claws.
Oh, yeah, sharpened bones. They get close and they sort of like scratch along the surface.
I'm safe here.
The problem is the moment you make contact, the land around you vanishes. It's like you immediately jerk your hand away and everything returns.
You all right?
Nothing happened. I think I'm okay.
We'll bring Chin back inside, and then she'll go.
Want to drag this up?
Live with other red pandas for the majority of the year, but leading up to when we think that she might be actually separated them, we want her to come comfortable as possible. So now I'll actually try different times during the day.
Yeah, no, after last, if you, yeah, one moment, guys. Can you just hear me?
Huh?
Can you guys hear me?
I'm hearing you, robot. I'm gonna have to try to reconnect.
Any better?
Yeah, much better for me.
Okay, now everything's good. I think Discord... Toki, can you hear us? Okay, so anyways...
You want to pull up the rock with vines on it.
Tendrils. Tendrils. Big difference.
I know, I corrected myself mid-sentence.
No, but you were still wrong. It's not tentacles, it's tendrils. Big difference.
It's better than having it down here.
Anyways. Toki, do you want to do anything to help, or are you just going to let them do it on their own?
Toki, you're still muted.
Okay, well, just assume he isn't paying attention. Yeah, at least you can look up. It would be better if we disconnected it at least. Maybe that would help.
Oh, sorry, I'm back.
Okay, yeah, Toki. So to give you a bit of a recap, Azrael went into the hole, lightly looted the bodies, as in he didn't actually try to loot the bodies. He just took anything he could see. And now they're planning to pull the meteor up.
There's a meteor?
What looks like a meteor. There's a small sphere at the bottom of this crater.
I throw Noctis some of my rope. And tell him
there's already rope down there.
Oh, he's got rope? Sorry.
He's got a lot of rope.
Sorry.
No, you can still throw more rope. Get all the rope in there.
Tie the rope to the rock.
Tie the rope to more rope and tie that rope to the rock. Yeah.
Gotcha.
We got hot rope on rope action here, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Azrael, you get thrown down a good bit of rope. Nice strong rope, too. And you tie it around the rock. Are you being careful as to not actually touch said rope?
Depends which rope.
The one Octavius threw to you. God.
I thought I was using that to tie up the rock on the meteorite.
All right.
So there are two things of rope. One that's he's using to climb, and the other tied to the rock.
Yes, you're currently holding the one that is being used to tie to the rock. What are you going to do with that rope? And I'm presuming you were pretty careful as to not touch the rock yourself.
Thought I did touch the rock.
While you were tying the rope?
At some point.
You touched the rock before, but you got magic, and you pulled your hand away quickly.
Yeah, no, because every time you touch the rock, everything just disappears for you, and you don't even see the rope you're holding. Like, you still feel it. It creates this weird sensory disconnect. Like, you don't see the rope. By all accounts, your mind is convinced there should not be a rope in your hands, and yet, what's in your hands then? And then the moment you take it away from the moment your skin breaks contact with the rock, it goes back to normal.
Son of a bitch. Is this thing made up? Is this the source of the torch's weird properties?
Yeah. You'd have to bring it out to inspect it, but Octavius, you do notice that every few moments, this takes far longer than it should, and it takes about 10 minutes for it to finally get securely tied around the rock. Octavius, you look and notice that it's Octavius and Toki. You both notice that it's because Azrael, every time he his hand brushes against the rock. He just like spaces out for a few moments before the hand just passes over again, and he's back to normal. Like, it's a very odd behavioral pattern for him.
Hey, you okay there, buddy?
What do you mean?
You took 10 minutes to tie a rope around a rock.
Can't be right. I'll take out imaginary pocket watch. Pocket watch.
You actually have a pocket watch.
Oh, seems I have. Now put it back. So what did I do with the rest of these two bodies over here?
Well, did you get their stuff?
Give it a quick one-over, but I'm not sure.
Their stuff. I doubt anyone else is ever coming here again.
It's more if we should just bury it or give them a pyre.
Are they not bones at this point?
They're bones.
We can just shovel dirt in the hole. I mean, come on, look at this thing. I'm more concerned with why they were
like to point out there are tendrils attached to them.
Oh, are they attached to the rock?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking A.
Those tendrils are kind of decayed, though. They're sort of shriveled up. Where the rest of it has this, like, smooth, almost glass-like texture to it upon appearance. The two tendrils that are connecting the rock to the corpses is sort of shriveled up, almost prunish in a sense.
Alright,
Okay, what were you trying to accomplish, Toki?
Tugging the rope to see if it'll just snap them off.
You pull the rock up a good 5 feet, and the bodies start like slightly moving. Not in the sense that they're getting up and animating themselves on their own, the more the sense that something's dragging them.
Oh, I just cut off the tendrils with my sword.
You guys do realize if you pull the ball up, the bodies come with, right?
And this is out of character. Cut the rope, cut the tendrils.
No, never mind.
Yeah, no, it's like I was about to say, Necro, you're about to create much more work for yourself than you need to. Like, there's certain things I will allow you as a DM to do. Being idiots in certain situations because it makes it funny, yes. Being idiots in situations where there is a far more practical solution, no, I am not. I am vetoing that idea.
I thought for a moment the tendrils were connected to the ground.
No, there's two still, and it gets about 5 feet before those two go taut. And it's like they start to give a bit of tension. The rope's still slack. Because to be completely honest, there's a lot of it.
I'll climb out of the hole and start pulling.
Okay.
And now that you're not in the hole, Alicia can help.
Toki, everybody who's going to be assisting on trying to pull the rope, roll athletics.
This is going to be good.
Dibs on the star medal.
Do we get advantage on this?
No. Just roll base athletics.
Oof.
My God, Toki.
I was expecting...
Azrael.
Yeah!
Okay, so Azrael is thankfully the closest, and he just like... Part of the lip that is dirt is what he's like bracing against, and that just like gives out, and he just falls backwards. And thankfully, he doesn't fall in the hole. But like the rest of you slowly start to pull the body up, pull it up, and eventually you hear this and this sort of like high, like this sort of faint hissing sound as you slowly pull it up, and like the two tendrils are sort of like jaggedly ripped and sort of like just writhing back and forth.
Oh God, not again.
No, it's not like writhing in a sense that they're moving. It's more writhing in a sense that you just cut me in half, the agony.
Yeah, but still.
Azrael, you are currently prone. And the ball is about 3 inches from your face. It would be a good note now to mention that the tendrils are coming out of 2 of the holes. Or what appear to be holes. It's weird. Now it's me. Now you have... You also notice that the 2 bodies are sort of just like hanging loosely at the edge. Like they're not fully pulled up yet, but the tendrils that have like sort of impaled themselves into their sternums seem to still be holding strong.
I'll get up and pull them to
Hey, Noctis, can I borrow your gloves real quick?
Sure. I'll take them off.
I put those gloves on and I ritual cast Identify on this rock.
Okay.
Very large glove, though.
Doesn't matter, it just needs to be a force in between me and the rock.
It's a portal beacon.
A what?
A portal beacon. It's essentially... Within this world, teleportation magic is not as effective as it should be. Short distance stuff like Dimension Door and Gate, which just straight up takes you out of the dimension entirely, work fine, for the most part. Occasionally somebody will come through either inside out or in 2 pieces on opposite sides of the world, but, you know. But if you want to do massive amounts of teleportation, like if you want to, say, move a very large creature or a large quantity of creatures through to a single point effectively, you need what's called a portal beacon, which is effectively just an anchor. You put it in one place, and so long as it's attuned to the magic that you're casting, i.e. attuned to you, the beacon will respond to your spell and safely deposit whatever you send through a portal to that area. Granted, this is leagues above anything you've ever seen, but it's the same. It's the only thing Identify's spitting out at you.
So what you're telling me is that this thing is worth a mountain of gold.
No, it's useless to anybody except the caster.
Gotcha.
The reason teleportation magic is so rare because it's so damn expensive to make the damn things, and once they're created and attuned to somebody, that attunement never goes away. Even if the person dies, the attunement is still stuck on their body because the thing requires that person's blood to make.
Fuck.
So effectively, you just have a very shiny rock. Granted, if whatever made it wants to use it as a portal beacon, then it would use it as a portal beacon, but to you, it's effectively worthless.
Huh. Okay, I back away from the rock, take off the gloves, hand them back to Noctis. That's a portal beacon, apparently.
Come again?
Portal beacon. Noctis, you studied them. You studied them fleetingly when you looked into pursuing arcane fields before pursuing craftsmanship, but point being.
I was saying it in character. I was saying it in character.
Yeah, no. Yeah, but point being, for the most part, you know what these are, and you have a distinct idea. You have a vague idea of what relation this thing might have to the forest as a whole. but if you want anything more specific, you're going to have to roll an Arcana check on it.
Wait, I gave Noctis the black magic torch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Touch.
You're touching the torch to the rock, or?
No, I'm touching the rock itself.
Okay. You're in a black void. Do you immediately recoil, or do you keep your hand on it?
3 more seconds, and then I let go.
You see this massive wall of something standing before you. And it seems to almost, like, lazily, this massive, what you can only describe as a smaller wall, is slowly approaching you before you take your hand off and it disappears. Mark, Azrael put his hand on the rock for a few seconds, sort of spaced out, and then took it off.
Question, did his eyes go black?
No. It just looked like he was staring off into space.
Literally.
You keep doing that.
Keep doing what?
Touching the rock and then just looking at something.
For future reference, this is what his face looks like.
God damn it.
Just sort of slack jaws, eyes go to pinpoints and just stare off into space.
Slowpoke.
Yeah, no, he doesn't turn into a slowpoke, but that's essentially the sort of like the base facial expression he makes.
Oh, I just had an idea. Use the torch, the true sight thing.
Well, do this. We'll check up on the corpses. They might have things in it. I'll take out the torch.
I'll investigate the bodies.
All right. There's still tendrils attached to them.
I'll be very careful not to touch the tendrils.
Okay. Roll general investigation to loot the bodies.
Natural 20. Give me all that loot.
You find 3 filled potion bottles, 1 cracked. 2 contain a light bluish liquid. 1 contains a blood red liquid. A clay jar of some kind that's been sealed. A small, like, mason's jug that's filled with something. And several small statuettes.
I will ritual cast Identify on all of this.
Okay. The potion is a greater potion of healing.
What?
Yeah, like I said, these 2 were serious when they went through. So yeah, you have a greater potion of healing, and it's the cracked one. The 2 light blue ones are it's not leaking, it's just cracked.
Gotcha.
Toki, if you're trying to talk, you aren't making any noise.
Yeah, if you're just hitting your mic, then you might have to come back in.
No, my phone was ringing.
Okay. But point being, so, for the most part, yeah, you got a potion of greater restoration. The
Greater
2 light blue are potions.
Greater healing potion.
Oh, greater healing potion. Sorry.
One's magic. The other's potion.
Yeah, no, sorry. I get the 2 mixed up sometimes. Sue me. Anyway, so the other 2 are potions of etherealness. You aren't really getting any idea on what they do. You just get a name. The statuettes have some form of the bless spell attached to them.
How many are there?
6. Wait,
And while he's doing this, I'll give him the satchel with the rest of the stuff.
No, not 6, 8. And you also collect like a series of rings.
How many rings?
Back to the Future 2 was in the Back to the Future 3 case.
4 of them. 2 appear to be just decorative. One you can't identify at all, but you know it's magic.
Really?
You get the school pinned down, you think it's abjuration? The other is a ring of the cloak. It's a weird item, though, so you have no idea what it is.
At the moment.
Okay.
Ring of the cloak.
It's a ring that appears to be made out of a simple iron. Inscribed on it is the elven phrase, to walk silently, to walk unseen, to walk without thought.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
But again, it's a weird magic item, so you got no idea what it does.
I won't know unless I try to use or attune to it, right?
Use it. It's not an attunement base.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, would Identify let me know if it is charges or daily?
Again, weird magic item kind of makes Identify go haywire.
Gotcha. I have to use it to find out.
Pretty much.
Or hold off until we get out of the clear.
Okay, these are really cool. Don't know what half of this does. The statues apparently are blessed.
Statuettes, they're small. They fit in the palm of your hand, basically.
Gotcha. But you can still call them statues. They're just tiny.
Yeah, no, they're basically Oscars. At least that's like the size comparison I'm making here.
Throwbacks.
Yeah, no. But point being, there's 8 of them. They each appear to be tribal symbols, like different markings for tribes. They look similar to like the banner symbol you saw in one of those mural paintings. Toki.
Yes.
No. Toki, you notice there's a few items on what you assume to be the half-orc's body. Well, you know it's a half-orc. You've been around enough dissected corpses to know what bone structure is. And you notice he's got a few items on him. There's a small necklace of bones, a mace, and what looks like the handle to a weapon, two-handed.
I pick up the handle.
Okay. It's a handle. It looks like it might have been to a great axe or some kind of pole weapon.
Didn't Noctis find bits of sword?
He found a sword hilt and about 6 inches of one.
And I gave all those items that I found down there to Octavius to identify.
Okay. Arcana. It definitely has magic. It's magic in some way.
So, come to Octavius's random eyeglass shop. I will identify all.
Over the course of 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I have the spell, so I don't need you to identify my stuff.
Yeah. Okay. You cast it. You know that its spell is... You've actually seen one of these before. Rather vulgarly, one of your compatriots who actually handled the item rather colorfully called it a Sword of the Rainbow. Same basic concept. Upon activation, the spear... It's a spear, though. Upon activation, the spear will sprout a spearhead that is, after rolling a 1d6, a single element. Either fire, lightning, necrotic, either fire, lightning, corrosive, ice, force, or one more that you can't remember There's also a supposed effect that if you get that after a certain number of uses, something happens. But you don't really remember. The item honestly didn't interest you that much, but it's the same basic enchantment.
Huh. Does it require attunement?
Probably. You don't know.
Well, he's identifying his
I'll
shit.
put it on my
I'll
belt.
identify Noctis's.
Okay, so you take the blade, and you definitely learn it's enchanted. And cursed.
Yeah.
You can't... the curse is specifically of binding.
So whoever attunes to this can never unattune it.
Not unless by force. The banish spell, the dispel, or extremely strong willpower. The weapon will retaliate if something hurts it. And to give you the download, basically there would have been a massive boss encounter if I had not rolled extremely lucky for this first group and they had managed to get all the way here.
Oh, really? They actually killed the boss for us.
They did all the legwork.
Nice.
The main challenge for you guys was getting there.
To be fair,
there's still
that's a hell of a challenge.
Yeah, no. There's still a bit of work you guys need to do to actually, like, kill it, but they did most of the legwork. Like, there was a whole boss encounter, there were stages, I got all sorts of stuff planned out. But nope, one random roll, they beat it all. And they died as a result. The last roll actually had it where I was rolling to decide whether they lived long enough to see you guys come to back them up. But nope, they died.
So yeah, this sword is cursed. Don't attune to it, or it'll be a pain in the ass to get off, unless you're like know some specific magic or you're strong-willed.
What kind of ability does it have other than the curse?
Did I learn that?
Sorry, what was the question?
Does the sword have any other ability besides being cursed?
Something called whip.
Whip, whatever that means.
That's all you got from it.
Like something Elizabeth will use.
Motherfucker, did you make Ivy's sword?
Basically.
God damn it. You made Ivy's cursed fucking sword.
Yeah.
A variant of it, yes.
And then there's the helmets and the rings.
Ritual casting identification.
Yeah, the helm. The helm of false life. Donning this helmet will give you the ability to cast the spell False Life at first level. This occurs once per day and is only reset after a short rest. Or wait, no, yeah, just once per day, sorry.
Yay.
And the rings.
So I'm gonna try this.
The hell is that?
How are the girls?
Okay. What would be the course of action?
Oh, that's that.
My head is bleeding. Hold up, my head is bleeding.
Oh, shit. What?
How did you...
Okay, so moving on.
The ring
Octavius
is up next.
Yeah, you're gonna... One of them is a ring of protection. Basic +1. The other is another one of these cloak rings.
I'll find it.
Again, you got no idea what it does. To describe the rings, the first ring that you couldn't get any vibe from except for abjuration is a rather lovely silver inlaid ring. It has the appearance of what appears to be like a shield of sorts in it. And there's dwarven markings on it? The cloak rings are, again, what I told you. The ring of protection is just a ring of protection. Basic iron, markings inlaid.
Can I take that ring of protection off your hands?
Technically, it's yours. You found this one. How squishy are you out of character?
25 HP.
Yeah, take it.
What's your AC?
16.
Mine's 14.
Yeah, you might need it more, actually.
Yeah, and I'm wearing studded leather. That's the best I can wear.
I'm wearing steel now.
Now, put on your shoes. You're big enough. Put them on.
Anyways, so for the most part,
I think you're going to get your shoes out with those socks, Mira.
Yeah, we'll find it another time. It's fine.
Things go pretty well.
Madeline, put on your shoes now.
Oh, didn't you say there were,
Put them on.
more,
That's the rule.
whatever these were? The panels?
Yeah,
Can I look at those?
sure. Give me a few minutes to go through my notes. Okay, so which one are you looking at specifically?
You only told me that there were more.
It must be Jada.
There. Okay, you read the one on this
Well,
side.
you'll still find it. Just a different way.
There's still the one,
You just won't get it back.
Right.
this wall, and this wall.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get closer to them to actually read them, but
I will go closer to them to read them and jot down any potential music.
okay.
Hazard pay, I guess.
One
Right.
one speaks of a southern empire,
A what?
dwarven specifically.
A dwarven empire?
Yeah.
Okay, put this on.
Most of it's dwarven script actually. So unless any of you can read that,
Hearing about Mira biting.
Mira?
That's okay.
Mira?
Oh.
okay, you all good there, buddy?
He's typing on his phone.
Said his hand was bleeding, right?
Okay.
Mayo.
You get weal and woe, good and bad. So you get more of the sense that
Okay.
it depends on your course of action.
But that was like she just didn't.
Also, what the heck is this mace?
She did. And then I said, we were sitting on her stomach and she's like trying, she said, okay. So I came
Mark-
in the bathroom and she said Maddie came up and
What?
just like.
Toki just kind of wanders up to you with a mace.
Yep.
It's like, what the hell's
He's
this?
got his own identify spell. That's why he was asking.
Yeah, but he might be out of spell slot. Oh, you're identifying
I
yourself.
can
My bad.
ritual cast it.
My bad. Never mind. It is a mace of cold. It adds 1d6 cold damage to every attack.
Pretty good, actually.
Though it actually just replaces the standard damage with the 1d6.
I'm sure Nurse Dyer would be prepared to offer her moral support.
But it's considered a magic weapon, so it deals both bludgeoning and cold damage.
Thank you so much.
Wait, no. I'm reading the different item. No, it does regular mace damage and then adding the 1d6. Sorry. God, I'm
What
so
else was
stubborn.
there?
There's the handle that you now know is a spear of rainbow, as you're calling it, or the rainbow spear. There's, that's all you found.
Well, I'm going to sit over here in the corner until they figure something out. Planning to try to attune to this spear.
Okay.
And now,
there's the bag that you still haven't gone through, but besides that, nothing else. Octavius, roll a regular 20.
I almost just put 20 in the chat.
Okay. Through either some act of random compulsion or just not actually thinking, you suddenly feel something slip onto your finger and look down as the cloak ring. To the rest of you, Octavius is gone. He's just gone.
I'm sorry, did you give me, quote, a ring of invisibility or the one ring?
That is up for you to find out.
Problem is, did I notice that I put on the ring?
You notice it at like the last second, and then poof, you just vanished. And Octavius, this is a good mention for you. You can't see yourself.
So I can't even tell where my hand is to pull the ring off.
Like, no, if you like slap yourself, like you have a vague understanding of your body's proportions and positioning. But it's like, if you slap yourself, yeah, no, you can feel a pressure against what you think is your chest. But for the most part, but to the base concept, no, you have no idea where your hand is.
I'll turn on the torch.
He's gone. You don't see him.
Even with true sight?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Can I take my time to slowly feel out to where my arm is? So I can reach down to my hand?
Yeah, Toki, as for you, one moment, I need to pull up the stats.
Yeah, we have 2 of those.
Yes, we do. And they will creep on you if you're not careful.
Marco.
Polo.
Do I hear anything?
No, you hear things.
Can I talk?
You can try.
Hello?
No noise.
Oh my god, this is... If it didn't have a mind of its own, this would be great.
No, it doesn't have a mind of its own. It's just, since it's a weird item, and now that you have it on, you actually get a sense of a curse. It's called compulsion.
God,
whoever holds the item has a bizarre compulsion to put on this ring. Roll a 1d20 at random, DM's choice, to decide if you put the ring on or not.
Serious?
Okay, so how long does it take for me to freaking find my hand?
Roll a perception check at disadvantage.
What the hell can he have gone to?
Do I waste the spell slot?
It's your choice.
I'll see how long this takes. Nope. So I'm going to assume the other one is also cursed, yeah?
Yeah, now that you know it, yeah, both are cursed as compulsion. But it takes you a good 20 minutes, and like Azrael, you sort of like swing your arms in wild directions, and it's like you're just about like 3 feet behind where Octavius is, and suddenly Octavius just appears. Yeah, no, and I'm gonna say it's canonically it does have the same sound as
Goku.
If any of you have seen DBCA abridged,
yep.
Instant transmission.
Okay, these rings are cursed. And you couldn't hear me when I was yelling. So I have a smart idea to counter this. I'm going to take both these rings and tie them with on something so they can't just be put on a finger.
You're gonna like put a small rod in them, basically?
Or like, you know, like tie them into like a necklace so that you have to take off the necklace in order to put them on. You know, something that makes it another step of difficulty.
Put a finger on it.
Well, we do have 2 skeletons. No, that's way too.
There you go. Toki, that's just the rainbow spear stuff.
Alright, and I assume the mace is just like a mace of Frost brand?
Pretty much.
How long will that take to fix?
2 days.
It's effectively just a mace.
Resistant.
Yeah, no, it doesn't confer fire resistance to you. It is a mace that, when held, appears to give off a slight misty effect to the air around it.
Still not working.
Appear not.
Here's a question. What kind of sword does Ivy's cursed sword count as?
Technically a short sword.
But not
But
now.
we wouldn't learn any other of its abilities until we actually use it or attune, yeah?
Pretty much.
Yeah. What is it with all the cursed items in this forest?
Oh. It's a weird forest. Azrael, do you want to go through the bag?
Yeah.
All right. You find a journal. You find a clay figurine that looks like a praying statue. You should know the gardener and a few other of your servants had them. What looks like bear trap. 1 standard issue knife. 1 standard issue toilet.
Do you understand?
Basically, it just seems like a very modified explorer's pack that seems to just be this guy's travel pack. And aside from the...
It's called testicular feminization.
Wait, what was that? Testicular what?
No, that's just the back. Mom, can you turn it down?
It was getting so good.
Shut up. Anyway, so basically, there's even a pair of boots in there for some reason, but point being.
Can I get a quick read on the journal?
Yeah, most of the pages appear, like, the dates appear to be set, like, a week and a half before you guys came. Basically, it just, like, details each of the forest. It's like, as you go through, it's like, they started as a group of... All right. Yeah, Toki. Then you roll a 1d6 to see which damage type it makes. That would do lightning damage then. Like, your guys' inspection of the bag is interrupted as Toki swings the sphere in a wide arc, and this crackling of static electricity against the air sound is heard as, like, this large blue line is cut through the air that manifests for, like, a split second before disappearing.
Slowly.
You go back to the bag, or the notebook. At the end, the last passage says, managed to finally beat whatever was guarding this damn thing. Both are pretty banged up. We'll rest for the night, do the ritual in the morning. I just feel really tired. And that's it.
Ritual.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna read the last thing because I can't read dwarf.
You can basically just sketch down the drawings, though.
Yeah, I made a note of Dwarf Kingdom.
Okay. The last one shows a woman atop a throne. The woman is... God, gotta get the note again.
Did you get all your notes today, Betty?
Yeah.
Fuck up to.
It depicts a woman sitting in a throne, surrounded by figures clad in what you can assume to be armor, kneeling before her. The second panel shows and the text underneath it says, "Our ruler, may she be remembered. May she be exalted forevermore." The second panel shows...
Do we get a name with the ruler, or just says the ruler?
Just says, "Our ruler." The second part shows... Yeah, it just says, "Our ruler, may she be forever remembered." And revered is what the last part says. The second panel is of her leading an army against another. The two banners, one shows a similar marking as the first banner, a bit different, like the design is slightly altered, but for the most part, things are pretty easy. It's a pretty similar design, I should say. Not the same symbols, but similar ones, that you can't make them out exactly. And the third panel underneath it, despite the danger, she rides a field, inspiring and leading. The third shows the figure, though missing an arm and with a small council in what appears to be at an altar. Battered and beaten, she beseeches help. The fourth shows her ramming a knife through her chest. The gods ask for tribute and are sated. The fifth shows the opposing army. Most dead. The ground around them grayed out. Their price is monumentous, but their service is as well. The sixth show a gravesite with a crescent moon emblazoned on it. Our ruler, may she be remembered. Ensured we shall never kneel. And that's it.
Okay, shot in the dark. Is there any way of knowing of this location or of this at all? Like, I know it's probably millennia ago,
roll a history check, because this is sort of like what bards would know about, like iconic events in history, things like that. Things songs are made of. You have a vague memory of something called the Eternal Campaign, only because there was a 9-verse song written about it by some bard who you know has their head shoved up. Well, let's not get off track. But point being, effectively, it is sort of like a sorrowful one, that it told of this great kingdom that once ruled where my Tyrell now is, that whose ruler sought to create an empire who would never know a sunset, and almost succeeded, save for a small kingdom in the north that halted his progress entirely. Supposedly, records of the song deviate, but it's either that some form of deal was struck with a god that basically rained disaster upon this enemy army until the entire thing fell apart, or some massive magical ritual was cast which had the same basic effect. But main point is, you have a vague idea. Evidently, this is about that opposing army. Or that's what you're hazarding a guess at.
Ladies and gentlemen, the founding of my Tyrell.
No.
Really?
This wasn't my Tyrell.
Oh, these are the people that fought them.
Yeah.
Sorry,
This was a northern kingdom. Also, this took place like over 3 millennia ago. Way before any of the kingdoms that are in place now were established.
Gotcha.
What's the longest running kingdom that's right now?
Tarudia, the theocracy. It is the only kingdom that can trace its lineage back to essentially starting right before the Planar War. In fact, the Tyrudian theocracy was established 350 years before the Planar War occurred. And it's actually stated in text that Mytyrell and the Imperium were both founded when offshoots of it, when splintered refugee groups fled north and south from the ruined cities that were incurred because of the fighting.
This is some,
this is some old school shit.
Okay, I don't know a lot about magic, but I know striking deals with gods can usually... Well, in songs anyway, they turn the fuck up bad.
And it's like Alicia kind of like clears her throat, a bit annoyed at that point. Excuse me, that's devils.
Must I list off every bardic tragedy that has a god offering power to someone?
I can count 3 and all end happily.
Can I history check to make sure I'm not talking out my ass?
Sure, roll history.
12.
You only remember one. It's the dirge of Lady Ora, as she was known. Azriel, are you trying to remember them?
Yeah.
There's the dirge of Lady Ora. There's the ballet. There's the ballad of Count Mesora. There's the ballad of Count Mezak. There's the what was it called again? Something of the, I don't know, the show tune of the Contefisto. You don't know.
Did you just say the Count of Monte Cristo?
The Count of Montefisto. Difference.
Sure there is.
Yes. The one's the Count of Monte Cristo, the other's the Count of punching things. Again, difference. The last one you're fairly certain is just a joke ballad somebody wrote just for the fun of it, and people started taking it seriously for some unknown reason. But Octavius, you then remember that all of these ballads are because they struck deals with the traitor gods, not the actual gods.
Gotcha, but the point still remains gods.
Not
necessarily devils.
Well, they're considered devils in the eyes of most churches. Hell, depending on which citizens you ask, they're even worse than them. But again,
deities rather than infernal.
Essentially.
That was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, no. Point being, it's not a good idea to throw those words around lightly, especially with people of the faith.
Gotcha.
And Toki, just for reference, you would be offended by what Mark said if you just didn't care.
Hey, can we take like a 10-minute break? My food's here.
All right, yeah.
Thanks.
See you guys back in 10 minutes. Everybody back. Well, so Necro, how's your day been?
Pretty good.
All right. Toki, you back? All right. So got it. Anyways, so for the most part, getting back to things, there's, if I remember correctly, you guys were arguing about songs and such.
Mark's still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give him the journal. Tell him to search for anything about a ritual, and I'll go back to the meteor.
I will look into that.
Okay.
Take a seat, light the torch, and touch the meteorite.
Okay. You light the torch, touch it to the rock. Nothing happens.
So I don't see the gates anymore.
Oh wait, are you touching the rock?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, same thing happens. You get teleported to the empty void, and there's the wall of something in front of you. You actually look behind you, and you see that same wall slowly moving in like an arc away from you now.
It's scared of the light.
Okay, sure. Let's go with that. It would be good to know that you aren't actually holding the torch in your hand.
Wait, I just dropped it?
No. It's like the same thing with the rope. You're still holding it. Like, your mind is at one point saying, yes, I am holding a torch, and at the same time, no, there's no torch. It's like that weird sensory deprivation thing. It's like you don't see the torch, you don't feel it, but there's a weight in your hand of something. But yeah, no. So the most part, it's just like, what the hell? This is weird. Point being,
Can I start walking towards the wall?
Sure. Azrael, Toki, you see Azrael touch the torch to the ball. There's a ting. Nothing happens.
I touched the ball as well.
Nothing happens.
Oh.
Feels nice. Kind of smooth. Feels slightly warm to the touch.
Okay, what is this right here?
Tree. Big tree.
Big giant tree.
Big tree.
I take the ball and touch the tree with the ball.
You can't move the ball.
Oh, no.
No, as in it weighs well over 100 pounds.
Gotcha.
you could try pushing it.
What happens when he pushes it and it moves outside of Toki's hand?
You mean Azrael's?
Yes. Sorry, I keep doing that. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, Azrael, like, you're looking up and you can make out what looks like some kind of figure resting against the wall, and then immediately everything just cuts away as you notice now Toki's like laboring and trying to push the ball towards the tree.
What are you doing?
Thanks.
Yeah, Toki, it would be good to note that you're not really making much ground with it, like a few inches every like minute. So it's like you're kind of like putting your back into it.
This shit 30 feet up a slope.
All four of us were pulling a rope up an angle. It's called physics.
I didn't hear the fact that other people were pulling. I thought I was the only one.
No, granted, you did a lot of the legwork, but...
While they're doing that, can I look through this book and see if there's any mention of that ritual they were going to perform?
Yeah, roll general investigation.
Just don't move it. Think I found something on the inside, and I go back into the meteor.
Okay, like, Toki, do you stop pushing it or do you keep pushing it?
I mean, he said he found something. I don't see where he says he found. As it moves from
he
the
said
spot.
Inside the meteor. Yeah, no, it's about 6 feet. But for the most part, yeah, no. Yeah. He kind of like touches the meteor again and spaces out. And Azrael goes blank, like slack-faced again. You go back into the void, and the figure's right in front of you.
Oh, shit.
It's like the walls moved slightly closer, and it's like it's extended something out. You realize now the figure was actually just embedded in the wall. And it's sort of an amalgamation of mismatched eyes, what looks like a small sort of maw-like mouth, and like small, feeble-looking arms. There's no lower torso. And the voice that you hear now is inside your head. Like the mouth, when it moves, is making completely different motions than from what the noises you hear. Like the mouth is just sort of like gaping open and close at random intervals. And just, you are like us.
What are you?
We are ancient, unknowing, yet all-seeing. We have seen our eye, our body in your realm. Weak, small, fragile. Return it.
I'll let go of the stone of the meteor.
Okay. The thing's kind of glowing. You guys now notice the thing's glowing a bit of a... It's got this like angry reddish glow to it now.
Oh, great. You went inside and pissed something off.
Said I had something from it. At this point, I just look pale.
Paler than usual?
Very much so. Any course of actions that you take? I'm open to suggestions.
Sorry, what was the question?
Does anybody have any more suggestions for about the situation?
Alicia kind of pipes up. You said you can talk to it.
It says I'm one of their kind.
Well, maybe it won't try to hurt you.
Tell that to other humans.
And
yes. Well, I'm hoping whatever it isn't like other humans.
It's far from humans.
Also, I'd like to point out its freaking roots were in those guys.
Yeah?
No, I was just saying that to them. It's like pointing out.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
The tentacles aren't moving. They're weak. It looks like they're dying.
Well, if you don't have any ideas, I could do what I did at the farm. See if that works.
No. Exterior-wise, it might look similar, but I think this is far, far different.
So I should give it a standing ovation.
Real funny.
Okay, please tell me you actually got that joke.
Sadly, no.
No.
I have thunderclap.
Oh.
The thing I did at the farm. That was my joke.
Oh, okay. Do you actually use thunderclap?
I asked if that was okay if I do it. Which
you can do it if you want.
No, this is his show. I'm saying if we don't have any other options, I can do what I did to the thing that was similar to this.
Okay, one moment.
I'd just like to talk to it some more.
Okay, it's vibrating.
Put my hand on it again.
You disappear and the figure's still there, and it's just like looking down.
Apologies.
Give it back. Give us back.
And what will you do if I give it back?
I will turn my eye elsewhere. Your kind has proven it can harm me. If I reach towards it, I will ignore you petulance. Let's go. You petulant maggots for the time. But I cannot promise my brethren will do the same. Give back the eye, and I will warn them.
The eye?
The eye of Agamotto.
Wrong thing, but base concept is down. Yeah.
And where is this eye?
You currently touch it. Simply strike it hard enough and I will reclaim it. Do not interfere further, or I will use force to bring it back. Do we have a deal?
Give me a moment. Give me a moment.
Why are we rolling this?
Are you trying to hurt him in the mind space?
No. Just to see if I accept or not.
Motherfucker, you really have to play everything by chance? What would your character do?
He doesn't know either.
Oh, why don't you come out here and tell somebody something, sir?
Yes, you just got a lot of information.
So, the being looks at you expectantly.
Be right back.
Fine.
Yeah, no. Good.
And I let go.
So, how was your chat?
It's still vibrating.
Destroy it.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Alright. I roll up my sleeves, gesture everyone to get back of like 5 feet or something. What'd that do?
Alright. One moment.
I did not cast it yet, so he might be able to stop me.
Wheel.
What is Will again? Will is good, right?
So this is a good thing.
Yep. In the long term, yes.
Alright. I'm gonna give him a standing ovation with thunderclap. Do I actually have to roll?
Shut up.
What the hell is going on?
And Toki, at that very point, Octavius, you put your hands, and if you want to do something, now's the time.
I said I am effectively giving it a standing ovation, but every time I clap my hands, I'm casting thunderclap.
Yeah, no. So you effectively see him like just smacking his hands together, and every time thunderclap is set off, like it keeps vibrating faster and faster until finally it just it's gone. It was there, but now it's gone.
Okay.
In its place is like a small wisp of black smoke. And a note.
This isn't good.
Since I'm right there, I'll pick up the note.
It is gibberish.
I have a feeling you can read this. I hand it to Noctis.
Shut up. Sir. Alright. What does the note say?
You honor your end. We honor ours. Signed, us.
For we are many.
No, that's Legion. Different thing.
Are you sure? Because you're not setting it up like that.
Do I get to summon beings now? Can I command the undead?
You don't feel any different.
So is that mission accomplished? Is that the thing?
Alicia kind of looks... I think so.
Apparently, they won't be bothering this planet for long.
I'm sorry, what?
That's...
Would I know what a planet is? What's a planet?
You're standing on it.
I thought this was ground.
The world was flat.
No.
I will stab you.
No. So, what time is it? How long did it take to get here?
Oh my god, I got a +4 in wisdom.
Anyways, that's where we'll end it for the night.
Oh, really?
You guys standing in a clearing. All signs of this orb gone. Mission accomplished? Question mark?
Okay.
As the screen slowly pans out, you guys don't realize as entire swaths of the forest simply vanish.
Nani?
Oh. So he took his shit and went home.
Yeah, to effectively... Oh, this was a great old one. A very young great old one, but a great old one nonetheless. Basically. Especially since Necro's kind of be classing into a hunter. That was the power bargain.
Okay.
So effectively, yeah, Ezreal, you ordered to that thing now. You don't even know its name, but you report to it. Point being, effectively, every piece of corrupted land that this orb caused was taken with it. Granted, there's husks of the trees there, but that's it. Entire swaths of the forest are now left barren. Life might return to them one day, but for now, they're dead. So effectively, to use a kitty adage, it packed its metaphorical shit and ran.
Because of one orc and 1.5.
Yep, pretty much. It took its ball and went to play and went home.
God.
Anyways,
that's what you get for playing football.
Dealt with bullshit.
With an orc.
You've dealt with that. You'll make the trek home in the week after next. The schedule's going to be a bit. Yeah, in 2 weeks' time.
Question. Level up?
No.
This might.
Not that. No.
But to be fair, we just leveled.
I don't even remember the last time that we leveled.
Wasn't it last session?
Yeah, it was last session you guys leveled.
Yeah, we just got to level 3.
That seems like forever ago.
It was 3
But
weeks
granted,
ago.
I'm playing like fucking 6 different
Okay.
things.
So, that's about it for the night, guys.